It's grappling time. Welcome to another video. Today we're discussing Paulo Costa. He is the most tested fighter in the UFC. This alarming information was just released, so let me run a couple numbers by everybody. So, in the calendar year of 2023, Paulo Costa was tested over 36 times. And here's another fact for you. He never even fought within that 12-month span, which is ridiculous number. So over 4,231 tests were carried out on 739 athletes. A little side nugget of information: John Jones made the top 5 of most tested athletes slash fighters in the UFC. So just for those who wanted to know that little piece of information, but the fact that Paulo Costa is number 1 and he didn't step foot one time in the octagon within that one span of 1 year is ridiculous. I know in the past he got in trouble for retroactive suspension and a deduction in his fight purse against Johnny Hendricks, which one of his trainers administered an IV bag. He was suspended by the Brazilian Fighting Commission and the USC for that, which is a no-no in the sport. You can't administer an IV right directly after a weigh-in for various reasons. But Paulo Costa got suspended for that. I mean, he's never been caught for taking PEDs once in his career, even though he has the body of a Greek god. Which is, I mean, the guy looks like a juiced up Vitor Belfort, juiced to the gills. But he has never been caught. And the fact that he was tested over 36 times is a little, I mean, that's kind of shady of USADA. I know Paulo Costa in the past has complained about how USADA will wake him up at like 2 or 3 in the morning the morning of a fight when he's supposed to be recovering from a tough weight cut, and they just wake him up in the middle of the night. And a fighter, if you wake him up in the middle of the night and he's supposed to be resting, he's trying to recuperate. I mean, that's a life altering event that could happen to him. The fact that one of the biggest fights of his career, it could change the trajectory of his career, whether he wins or loses. And the fact that you're not letting him get the proper rest the morning of the fight, I mean, it's borderline abusive by USADA. I know UFC has stated that they might seek alternative and testing organization to test their fighters from now on. I know the whole USADA drama happened a while back when Dana White was just peeved that USADA made a statement in which the reason why they weren't continuing their contract with USADA was because of Conor McGregor. The fact that he didn't want to be tested. There's no reason to test Paulo Costa over 36 times when he's not even the face or of the UFC or a champion. I mean, what's the reasoning behind that? Because maybe he complained about USADA, so USADA decided, you know what, let's test this guy a lot. He must be cheating. He must be taking PDs. Look at him. There's a lot of guys in the UFC that have amazing physiques that don't look anywhere, that don't look normal. They look like superheroes, cartoon cutouts of guys with just abs that have abs. Wow, I would like to know the reason why he was tested over 36 times. Like someone needs to ask USADA, what was your reasoning behind testing Paulo Costa over 36 times? Like, because the fact that he's not even a champion or he hasn't been caught for taking PEDs in the past, I might be mistaken, but from what I know, he wasn't. I mean, he had the IV incident, which he was punished for, but that's not PEDs. You could make an argument of that IV bag might have had something that wasn't supposed to have, but I mean, but I mean, it's just a ridiculous a number. I mean, that's over 3-1 for every other fighter in the UFC, because the average of every fighter was tested 10 times within that calendar year. So the average UFC fighter, so I can make my point very clear, the average UFC fighter was tested 10 times. That's over 700 fighters. Average 10. And Paulo Costa was tested over 36 times. Now think about that. That's a ridiculous. That's a ridiculous gap between the average fighter and Paulo Costa, and he's not even a champion. It doesn't make any sense. Not to me. Maybe they tested him so much because the USADA was trying to go out of the way to make an example out of him, an example of someone in the sport. Like, hey, he has to be juicy, and if we catch him, we'll get a nice. I think the way it works, however many fighters they catch cheating, USADA gets bonuses and stuff like that, and they were just convinced that Paulo Costa was juicing, and they were frustrated they could never catch him, so they continued to test him like crazy. Hmm. uh, Agree with me or disagree with me whether it was completely unnecessary to test Paulo Costa that much within 2023. Uh, I don't think one fighter, unless you're a champion in the face of an organization, should be tested that much. Uh, because you want to make sure that your most popular uh, fighter, your cash cow, the fighter that transcends popular culture, is being tested, so it sets a precedent that to other fighters, hey, if you want to have that mantle of being the face of this organization, the face of the combat game, then you need to be clean. But the fact that they had Paulo Costa being a kind of like a scapegoat for I don't know what, I don't even know what to make out of this. But agree with me, disagree with me, whether he should have been tested 36 times, whether he should have been the most tested fighter in the UFC. Please leave your comments below and give me your opinion. I'd like to know it. Uh, like, subscribe for more content. We'll see you again next time.